Jack Lawson stood at the edge of the bioluminescent forest, the eerie glow casting strange shadows across his face. The air was thick with anticipation and the faint hum of alien wildlife. He adjusted his visor, taking a deep breath. "We either make history today, or we become it," he muttered, stepping forward into the unknown. Dr. Talia Soren, his companion on this perilous mission, walked beside him, her eyes scanning the surroundings with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. "I've studied these forests for years, but being here, it's different," she said, her voice tinged with awe. Jack and Talia had been sent by the Galactic Council to establish contact with the elusive aric females, a task that had claimed the lives and sanity of many before them. The aric, known for their formidable psychic abilities, had remained an enigma, shrouded in mystery and fear. As they ventured deeper, the forest seemed to pulse with an ethereal light, the bioluminescent plants responding to their presence. "Stay close, Talia," Jack advised, his hand instinctively resting on the hilt of his plasma blade. "This place gives me the creeps, but we need to push through." Talia nodded, her resolve steely. "I'm not afraid of the dark, Jack. The aric are more than just a mission to me. They represent a chance for peace." The path ahead narrowed, leading them to a clearing where the air grew colder and the light more intense. A sudden rustle in the trees made Jack halt. "We're not alone," he whispered, eyes narrowing as he scanned the shadows. Before they could react, a group of aric females emerged from the forest, their presence both majestic and intimidating. Their leader, Nira, stepped forward, her eyes glowing with an inner light. "Why have you come here, humans?" Her voice resonated in their minds, bypassing speech altogether. Jack took a step forward, hands raised in a gesture of peace. "We come in peace. We want to understand you, to work together." Nira's gaze was piercing, her expression unreadable. "Your kind has only brought pain. Why should we trust you?" Talia stepped forward, her voice filled with sincerity. "I can't imagine the pain you've endured. We're here to ensure it never happens again. Please, let us prove our intentions." Nira regarded them silently for a moment before nodding slightly. "Words are easy. Your actions will prove your intentions. Follow me." As they followed Nira and her group deeper into the forest, Jack felt a mix of relief and apprehension. The path led to an ancient aric settlement, its structures glowing softly in the twilight. The air was thick with a sense of history and latent power. "We're making progress," Talia whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. Jack nodded, his mind racing with possibilities. But as they stepped into the heart of the settlement, a sense of foreboding settled over him. This was only the beginning, and the real challenge was yet to come. The rustling grew louder, and Jack's pulse quickened. He tightened his grip on his plasma blade as the aric females emerged from the shadows, their eyes glowing with an unsettling, otherworldly light. Each movement they made was fluid and deliberate, exuding a sense of power and grace. Nira, the aric matriarch, led them, her presence commanding and intimidating. "Your arrival here is unexpected and unwelcome," her voice echoed in their minds, bypassing speech entirely. "State your purpose, humans." Jack stepped forward, his posture respectful but resolute. "We come seeking peace, not conflict. We want to learn from you, to find a way to coexist." Nira's gaze was unwavering, scrutinizing him with an intensity that made his skin prickle. "Words are easy. Actions are what matter. Why should we trust you?" Talia, standing beside Jack, took a deep breath. "We understand your mistrust. We know of the pain and betrayal you've faced. But we believe in a future where our species can help one another." Nira's eyes softened, if only slightly. "We shall see. Follow me." The aric settlement was a marvel, blending seamlessly with the bioluminescent forest. Structures made of luminescent materials glowed softly, casting a serene light that contrasted with the tension in the air. Jack and Talia followed Nira, passing by aric females who watched them with wary curiosity. They were led to a large central chamber where an intricate mosaic of glowing stones adorned the floor. This is our heart, where decisions are made, Nira explained. Here, you will prove your intentions. Jack felt the weight of her words. What must we do? Nira gestured to a platform in the center of the chamber. You will undergo the trial of truth. It will reveal your deepest intentions and the true nature of your hearts. Talia's eyes widened. What does it entail? Nira's expression was unreadable. You will face your greatest fears and be judged by our ancestors' spirits. Only those with pure intentions can withstand it. Jack exchanged a glance with Talia. We're ready. As they stepped onto the platform, a humming vibration enveloped them. The chamber dimmed, and a mist swirled around their feet, rising to obscure their vision. Jack's heart pounded as the mist thickened, and he felt a strange pull, drawing him into a deep trance. Suddenly, he was back in a war zone, reliving the moment he lost his family. The screams, the chaos, the overwhelming sense of helplessness. It was all too real. He fell to his knees, gasping for breath. No, not again. Beside him, Talia faced her own torment. She was in a lab, watching helplessly as a catastrophic experiment claimed the lives of her colleagues. Tears streamed down her face as she cried out, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The visions were relentless, forcing them to confront their deepest regrets and fears. Jack felt as if he was drowning, the weight of his past suffocating him. But then, through the haze of despair, he heard Talia's voice. We can do this, Jack. We have to. Summoning every ounce of strength, Jack forced himself to stand. We're not defined by our past, he shouted into the void. We're here to make things right. The mist began to recede, and the chamber slowly brightened. Jack and Talia stood together, shaken but resolute. Nira and the other aric observed them silently. You have faced the trial of truth, Nira said, her voice softer. And you have proven your intentions are pure. We will listen. Relief washed over Jack. They had taken the first step toward bridging the gap between their species. But he knew the journey ahead was fraught with challenges. As they left the chamber, he couldn't shake the feeling that something darker loomed on the horizon, a threat that could undo all their efforts. Jack awoke with a start, the echoes of the trial of truth still vivid in his mind. The cold, stone floor of the aric chamber was a stark contrast to the warmth of Talia's hand on his shoulder. You okay? She asked, her eyes reflecting concern. I'm fine, Jack replied, forcing a smile. Just processing. Nira entered, her presence as commanding as ever. You have proven your sincerity, but our trust is fragile. There is much you need to understand about us. The aric matriarch led them to an ancient temple, its entrance flanked by statues of long-forgotten warriors. Inside, the air was thick with history, the walls adorned with carvings that told the tale of the Arikari's past. This is where our ancestors rest, Nira explained. Their spirits guide us, but they also bear the weight of our history. Jack and Talia followed her deeper into the temple, where the carvings grew darker, depicting scenes of conflict and sorrow. Nira stopped before a particularly gruesome mural. This is our truth, she said, her voice heavy with emotion. We were once a peaceful race, but an invasion by the urine changed everything. They exploited our psychic abilities, turning us into weapons. We lost our innocence and our trust in others. Talia traced the lines of the mural with her fingers. I had no idea, she whispered. No wonder you're so wary of outsiders. Nira nodded. We learned to protect ourselves, to trust only those who prove themselves worthy. Your trial was just the beginning. There are deeper layers to our trust. Jack's mind raced with the implications of their history. We need to ensure this never happens again. We must find a way to safeguard both our peoples. Before Nira could respond, the temple shook violently, dust cascading from the ceiling. An urgent alarm echoed through the halls. What's happening? Jack demanded. One of Nira's guards rushed in. We're under attack. It's the urine. They've returned. Nira's eyes blazed with fury. They dare to violate our sanctuary again? Jack and Talia exchanged a look of grim determination. "We need to help," Jack said. "Show us where we're needed." Nira hesitated for a moment before nodding. "Follow me." They sprinted through the temple, emerging into the chaos of the aric settlement. The urine, grotesque creatures with advanced weaponry, were wreaking havoc. Jack drew his plasma blade, his training kicking in. "Talia, stay close." Talia grabbed a nearby communicator, relaying instructions to the aric. "We need to coordinate our defense." "Jack, cover the eastern flank." Jack plunged into the fray, his movements precise and lethal. Each swing of his blade cut through the urine ranks, but the tide of enemies seemed endless. Talia's voice was a constant in his ear, guiding him through the chaos. Nira fought alongside them, her psychic powers devastating the urine attackers. "We cannot let them win," she shouted, her voice a rallying cry. As the battle raged, Jack felt a surge of hope. They were fighting together, human and aric, against a common enemy. But the urine were relentless, their numbers overwhelming. Just as despair began to creep in, reinforcements arrived. A squad of Galactic Council troops, led by Commander Rax, stormed the battlefield. "We heard your distress call," Rax barked. "Let's end this." With the combined forces, the tide began to turn. The urine, realizing they were outmatched, started to retreat. Jack took a deep breath, surveying the aftermath. The settlement was damaged, but they had held their ground. Nira approached, her expression a mix of exhaustion and gratitude. "You fought well, humans. Perhaps there is hope for our alliance after all." Jack nodded, feeling the weight of their victory. "This is just the beginning. We have much to rebuild, but we'll do it together." The aftermath of the battle left the aric settlement in a state of tense silence. Jack and Talia moved through the debris, helping where they could. The acrid smell of burnt vegetation and the faint metallic tang of blood filled the air, a stark reminder of the recent conflict. Nira gathered the council in the central chamber, where the trial of truth had taken place. "We must discuss our next steps," she said, her voice steady despite the exhaustion visible in her eyes. Jack stood beside her, a protective stance that didn't go unnoticed. "The urine will return. We need to fortify your defenses and establish a communication line with the Galactic Council." Talia nodded in agreement. "We can't let them catch us off guard again. We need to understand their tactics and find a way to counteract their technology." Nira's gaze swept over her council and the humans. "We have never allied with another species. Trust is not given lightly among the aric. But today, you fought alongside us, and that is not forgotten." One of the elder aric, a stoic figure named Illyra, stepped forward. "We must decide if this alliance will be a temporary measure or something more permanent. The urine threat is not a fleeting one." Jack felt the weight of the moment. This isn't just about survival. It's about building a future where our species can coexist. "We've seen what we can achieve together," Talia added. "The knowledge exchange between our species could lead to advancements in technology and understanding that benefit us all." Nira considered their words, then nodded. "We will take this step cautiously, but we will take it. The aric will open our archives to you, and in return, we ask for your protection and shared knowledge." The council murmured in agreement, and Jack felt a sense of accomplishment. Yet, there was still an undercurrent of unease. The urine's attack had been swift and brutal, and the threat of their return loomed large. Later that evening, as the settlement began to rebuild, Jack and Talia found a moment to rest by a small, glowing pond. The water shimmered with bioluminescence, casting a serene light that contrasted with the day's violence. "I never imagined we'd be here, forming an alliance with an alien race," Talia said, her voice soft with wonder. Jack smiled, though his eyes remained wary. "It's a start, but we need to stay vigilant. The urine won't give up easily." A sudden commotion drew their attention back to the settlement. A young aric ran towards them, her face pale with fear. "There's something you need to see," she panted. They followed her to the edge of the forest, where a series of strange symbols had been carved into the trees. Talia's eyes widened. These are urine markings. They're a warning. Jack's jaw tightened. They're not done with us yet. Nira joined them, her expression grave. We must decipher their message and prepare. This alliance must prove stronger than any force they send against us. A harbinger of the battles yet to come. Jack and Talia stood united with the aric, ready to face the darkness together. Their bond tested but unbroken. The future was uncertain, but their resolve was steadfast, marking the beginning of a new chapter in their shared history.